Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the start of a brand new week. Not only that, the start to a brand new year. So happy New Year's. Welcome to the brand new year, 2022. I always say if you're listening to this 10 years from now, well, great. Happy New Year. Best to you. And what we do here on a Motivation and Mindset Monday is really be able to give you action-based material that spans the test of time. So a lot of these nuances and all of these specific things that we're adding to 2022 are really not too much different than it was 100, 500, or 2,000 years ago. What we're looking at are really fundamental and foundational-based issues that we all need to overcome in order to achieve our goals. And I really believe that today's show is going to demonstrate that really well. So basically, there are 5 toxic mindsets that we need to make sure that we eliminate. I'm going to go through those 5 today because, as I've said before on previous Mindset and Motivation Mondays, a lot of the times it is not for lack of trying that you don't reach your goals or for lack of knowledge. Most of us know what we need to do, or at least where we need to start in order to achieve our goals. The problem is there are obstacles that stand in the way, and unfortunately, the biggest obstacle is usually us. And if you don't believe me, it's okay. Let's just keep an open mind. Let me share with you a lot of the issues that I've gone through in my life and that I've seen with tens of thousands of people in my practice that I've worked with personally. All right. So let's get started. 5 toxic mindsets that are holding you back. They need to be eliminated in order for you to have your best year yet. All right. The first one is this, the blame game. So blame. It is literally impossible for you to become a goal achiever, not a goal setter. Big difference, right? So a lot of people set goals. Not a lot of people achieve them. There's a huge difference, right? Being a goal setter is great. Being a goal achiever, much more appealing and a lot more fun. But the problem is this. If you can blame anyone or anything, past, present, or future, for why you haven't hit your goals, why you may not hit your goals, it's a problem. And that is because you are giving your personal power to some other entity, person, thing, government, etc., whatever it is. Now, there can be true and real obstacles in life. There's no doubt about it. However, we cannot blame any outside circumstances for why we are not able to achieve our goal. It's super important because once you start giving over your power to other people or things, you then do not have the strength and will not have the strength to persevere in the face of these particular obstacles. Now, whenever we hit obstacles in life, and you will on the road to and path to your goals, it does not mean that you cannot overcome them. It means that, it's going to maybe take a little bit longer, or you might need to find a different path, a different coach, a different therapist, a different doctor, a different practitioner, a different plan, a different book, a different course, whatever it might be. But you've learned in the process, okay? You are maintaining control and power, saying, okay, I went this far in this path. I've hit a dead end. It doesn't mean it hasn't been fruitful up to this point. I've learned a lot. I've made some progress. Good. Now you're going to need to make another path. That's basically it. But we cannot blame these outside circumstances, or again, you give away the one thing that you have, and that is your personal strength. Never give that away. Number 2 is this, excuses. It goes along with number 1. Blame is different. Excuses are different, okay? Excuses doesn't necessarily mean you've given up all of your personal power, but it means that you are still not taking 100% responsibility. So let me share that. So I've often said, and I really believe this, if there's no responsibility, there's no ability to change. I just want to repeat that. If you don't take any responsibility, and by that I really mean 100% responsibility for your life, there's really no ability that you can change. And that's because if you're not taking responsibility for what you need to do, or the areas that have kind of been let go, then you're not taking responsibility for what you actually need to do in order to make a change. So if you want to lose weight and you haven't tightened up the nutrition, you haven't started an exercise program, you haven't looked into metabolic issues with thyroid or high levels of cortisol or thermogenesis, whatever it might be, well then, again, you're not taking the responsibility to say this goal is important to you. And that's the thing. I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. And again, some of this is tough love, but it's because I want the best for you. I really do. But if it's not that important to you, it's not that important to you, and just don't make it a goal. Like literally let it go. Let it go. If it's not worth you putting time and effort into, then it might be somebody else's goal. Okay? So don't blame anybody else. Don't make excuses. Just say, you know what? This isn't my goal. It's not a priority, at least not right now. And that's really important, because if it is a priority and it is important, then no excuses. Literally 100% responsibility. Oh, you missed your gym workout today because of a call that went late. Okay, that's an excuse, right? It's also kind of blaming, but that's okay. We'll just make an excuse for right now, right? This is already, you're working it. Blaming will get you nowhere. It's worse than anything else, again, because you're giving up your responsibility. At least with an excuse, you have the power. You're just saying, oh, this one slipped up, right? Okay, but here's the thing. Let's just say, okay, you ran out of time. Can you do a 10-minute workout at home when you get home? I know that you don't have an hour for the gym. Can you do 10 minutes? Can you do something to tell your body you're on track? There was 1 week, and I hate using myself as a comparison, but I remember this very specifically, and I'm in my main office, and it happened in my main office. And I missed a workout for the week, and I wasn't happy about it because I was really on a program that I loved. So I did 2 workouts in one day. That's what I did. The next workout day, that's what I did. I did both of my workouts in one day. But that's not necessarily the smartest thing to do, and I'm going to be honest with you. But here's what it was. It was about mindset. I wanted to tell my body that you don't get to take the day off. That's it. Yes, you have excuses. You had interviews and calls and all that run later, and you have a higher priority, which is getting home to your family to be on time for dinner. That was a higher priority. So I said, okay, I can skip dinner, or I can get my workout in, but I can't do both, okay? Family, higher priority, easy choice, okay? So I missed my workout. Wasn't happy about it, not because I'm going to lose results or anything like that in one day, but it's because it's a slippery slope. So I said, okay, next day, you know what? I don't necessarily want to do, 10 assault bike sprints and my weight workout, but I'm going to do it anyway. And so that's what I did. And again, I'm not saying you should do this all the time, because it's not the best thing to do, but don't let yourself off the hook. Honestly, if you have a goal that's important to you, make it happen. No excuses. Again, things will come up in life. Find another way around it. You can do this. Number 3 is this. You have to get rid of the scarcity mindset. Now, again, I'm in a health-based practice, but I also work a lot with psychology. And I've loved studying psychology since I was 22 years old. And I know that specifically because when I was 22, I started working at this high-end gym, and I learned from, there was basically 33 personal trainers, nutritionists, et cetera there. And one of the guys beside me had this book on cognitive behavioral therapy. And I was like, oh, that's really interesting. He's like, oh, yeah, I'm taking some college courses at night in psychology to finish my degree. And I said, oh, when you're done with the textbook, if you don't return it, would you mind if I read it? And I did. And that was kind of my start for love of psychology. And I love psychology from a science-based perspective. And I love, not that it's not science-based, I love it from a self-improvement perspective. But I saw it play out in practice, meaning like the scarcity mindset is this, like, I can't lose weight because, and then there's always a reason why, meaning like, I can't afford good nutrition. I can't afford to eat organic. I can't afford a gym membership. Or with like coaching. Again, I work with over 4,000 integrative health practitioners in our network. Okay, there's already too many health coaches. There's already too many personal trainers. There's already too many chiropractors. There's already too many naturopaths. It's like, so it's this scarcity mindset that it's a terrible thing because you never get started, right? So if you're already defeated before you even get started, again, it's like, what's the point, right? What's the point of life? You don't get to live out your dreams, and you should. I think it's a big part of life is like just the process of living out your dreams, meaning that the reaching of the dream is the most uninteresting part for the most part. It's the journey along the way. I know you've heard that before, but it's not just the journey. It is the transformation of the human body, mind, soul, spirit that goes along with having to set a goal that is worthy of you becoming a new person in order to achieve it. Because you have to be a new person in order to achieve a new goal. So when people say, oh, you've changed, I say, again, not me specifically, but I tell people saying, good, you're supposed to change. Like that is the goal of life. Change, evolve, turn from that caterpillar into a butterfly, right? Rise from the ashes of the phoenix. These things have been around forever. Why? Because they're true. You're supposed to overcome defeat. That's what it's all about. Literally rising up out of the cocoon or out of the ashes. That's what it's all about. So do not become defeated before you even start. Number 4 is this. Shield yourself from the naysayers. A lot of those people with a scarcity mindset, they will tell you all the different reasons why it can't be done, right? All the different reasons why you should be afraid, all the different reasons you should be scared. They have all the excuses, right? They are the ones that blame others. They own the excuse book and they have the scarcity mindset. If you hang around these people long enough, you will develop that same mindset. They will convince you of how right they are. Be very careful. What I recommend is you don't have to give up friends. You don't have to give up family. But what you need to do are hear other voices that are just as strong, if not stronger, on the other side. This is why I've always been part of mentorship groups, like-minded networks, etc., and I still am to this day. I travel for 3 events per year that are like-minded individuals that we all share ideas and goals and all of these different things. And we're just there really to support each other. And it's more there, we're there to be each other's biggest cheerleaders, because most people in life, they don't get it or understand if you do anything different, right? If you take care of your own health to a large degree naturally, and you're not on a host of medications, that is very different, right? That is very different. If you are someone who wants to take control of your overall body and all that, that is just very different. If you are someone that wants to enhance or better your career, that is different. Better relationships, your spirituality, your finances. It's just unique, believe it or not. I mean, not for everyone listening to this podcast, because you're listening to a podcast that is there to help you with overall self-improvement. And again, I do it myself. I'm just simply trying to pay forward what I've learned over 25 years. But you have to understand is that we are a definitely unique group of people, and we certainly need to stick together, that's for sure, because the rest of the world, not so much. And that's okay. Doesn't mean we are better, doesn't mean they are better, but certainly our beliefs are different, and they are typically the naysayers, right? So while everybody, I'll just give you an example. While all the doctors, right, all the smartest and brightest in the world, the Harvard University, the Boston University, the Tufts, the MIT, etc. When I went to all those almost 50 doctors or so for 2 years, all the different specialists telling me they couldn't figure out at first what was wrong with me. And then after I got diagnosed with Addison's disease and autoimmune issues and allergies and borderline asthma and type 2 diabetes and myalgic encephalomyelitis and all these issues I had, right? That there was no cure, that I wouldn't get better. I would just have to learn to manage my symptoms, take all these medications, etc. Those are the naysayers. They did not allow for the opportunity for me to ever heal, because they didn't see how that it was possible. Luckily, some people are very stubborn, and I'm one of those people. And I said, I refuse to believe in your narrative for myself. You can believe in your narrative for you, and we all get that opportunity. I have a different narrative and belief in my life. Now, I still didn't figure out how to get better for another 5 years, right? But eventually I met the right mentors. And my mentor, Dr. Pete, helped me put it all together. And then I was better within 6 months. All autoimmune issues, all Addison's disease, nothing. And it's been many years since then. And I'm completely healthier and healthier than I ever have been, right? So be careful. Be careful what the naysayers say. Naysayers told me not to invest in my first studio. Naysayers told me not to open up my second wellness location, right? A lot of naysayers. Just be careful. If it's not your dream, don't allow them to squash your dreams. All right, the fifth one is this, that... And this is a big one as well. because you have the blame, you've got the excuses, you've got the scarcity mindset you have to be watching out for, and you have to watch out for the naysayers, and yourself included, right? Because you can be a part of that self-talk. Well, the last one is this. If you've made it through all those, and now you're about to get started, the last one that people typically say is that it's just too hard, it's too much work, I don't have enough time. Now, I'm going to take out the last one because that's an excuse. The too hard is not necessarily an excuse, it's a belief. And I've seen this play out in my own life as well as others. And it's actually true. So again, it's a toxic mindset, but it's actually true from your current standpoint. Meaning your current reality, it is too difficult to lose the 50 pounds, to overcome the autoimmune issues, to improve your relationships or find the right person, to improve your finances, whatever it might be. It is too hard. And it was too hard for me to get well, which is why I didn't get well until what? So what I realized was that it really was too hard until I was shown an easier way. There are people in life that have already been through what you've been through. Your goal is not to recreate the wheel. Your goal is to follow a path that has already been created. You will need to do the work. You'll need to put in the effort. But on the other side of that is your dream. It is your goal being accomplished. It honestly is. And I learned this the other day too. This is why it is pretty amazing having kids and young kids, because I'm working with my daughter. I've shared this before on a previous Friday review, but it's a different story. It's a different way. And, you know, I enjoy math. And so I was teaching her and working with her on a multiplication tables. And we were just kind of going through, and I don't have any real tips and tricks. I really don't. But I was sharing the tips and tricks that I did have and how numbers repeat and there's patterns and things like that. But in school, so she was having a difficult time with multiplication tables and specifically the 9 tables, right? For 9s for multiplication. She went to her teacher, and her teacher had a brilliant way to memorize and learn and understand and have real world application of the 9 tables. And this was brand new to me. And it's basically that number times 9, the answer is going to equal 9. So for example, 7 times 9 is 63, right? So 7 times 9 is 63. 6 plus 3 equals 9, right? 63 equals 9. 9 times 6 equals 54. 5 plus 4 equals 9. 9 times 8, 81. 8 plus 1 equals 9. So I was like, oh, this is amazing. Not only is it easier to memorize, of course, but you can check your own work to see if it's right. So now she had the 9s tables memorized that very day. I was going to say the next day, but no, they were memorized the very day because at the dinner table, she was so excited to be able to share it, and then she shared the trick. Well, here's the thing. What seemed almost impossible the day before and weeks before to memorize, she now has it memorized with one trick because she was shown a different path, a new way to learn these multiplication tables. You have to understand, there's the same exact trick. You still have to do the work. She'd still need to memorize 1 through 12 because that's what they're doing, right? So all the way up times 9. But it's the same thing for health. It's not impossible to get well. It's not impossible to lose weight. It's not impossible to develop a great relationship. It's not impossible for deep spirituality. It's not impossible to improve your career. You just haven't been shown that trick, right? You haven't been shown the blueprint. And it's not a shortcut. It's not a cheat. It's nothing like that, but it's a different way of viewing the problem. And if you look at problems differently and you take responsibility, as I've mentioned before, it's really not a question of if you're going to accomplish your goal. It's simply a matter of when. So that's literally, now we're just playing with the timeline, right? We're only playing with the timeline if you get well, right? No, it's when am I going to get well, right? It's the date. That's it. When will I lose the weight? When will I, have the great relationship? When will I have the finances? And it's not going to be that far because for most people, and I broke this down during the 12-week year just a couple weeks back. I think that was episode, 2145. Yes, 2145. If you want to check out that show, I break it down as to what to do. And I really believe that 2022 can be the year that you accomplish everything that you've set out for yourself for a big goal. Pick one, make sure that you see it through and get rid of these toxic mindsets that are the real thing that's holding you back. So hopefully this was helpful here today. Again, as always, please do feel free to share the show with anyone you believe it can serve, and have an amazing start to the new year. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. Hopefully you got a lot of value from it. That is my goal every single day, is try to share with you something that I've learned over the past 25 years that has helped tens of hundreds of thousands of people all around the world. And what I want to do is also be able to share with you things that I use in my practice that I think you may find useful as well. One of those is vitamin D. And I really like the liquid vitamin D. It's one less capsule to take every single day. And you can actually just measure it by drops, which is really easy. So someone like myself and most people in our practice, they do 4 drops right under the tongue every single day. I do mine with my smoothie in the morning. It makes it really easy. And this vitamin D, one bottle lasts you about 3 months, sometimes even 4 months, so it's pretty convenient and easy to have around. What I'd like to do is share with you a free bottle today. So on all qualifying orders over at Equilife, we'll actually add to your order a free bottle of vitamin D. It's going to be about a 3 or 4 month supply if you're using about 4 drops per day. That's the average adult use. You might use a little bit less. You might use a little bit more, all based on your vitamin D testing. So if you haven't tested your vitamin D, you're also welcome to do that at stevencabral.com/labs. Click on that vitamin D lab. But today, you might as well get yourself a free bottle of vitamin D. It's about a $39 value. You can get it yours free on all qualifying orders by heading on over to stevencabral.com/shop. Take care, everyone.